brown bag session. For some of us that are new to this brown bag session, like if you're just joining us for the first time, the brown bag session by Cloneshouse is an informal conversation about a topic around evaluation. For some of us that do not know about Cloneshouse, yes, Cloneshouse is an evaluation specialist firm or enterprise that provides technical assistance to international development partners, government agencies, private foundations, national NGOs on monitoring and evaluation. So I'll say thanks to everyone for joining this time around. I think today we have an interesting topic, and my name is Oludotun Babayemi. I'm the lead development consultant at Cloneshouse. I'm going to restrict myself to those two kinds of reports. Yes, you might have been told to write a report. I think one thing that is important is for you to actually ask for an outline or a template. Many organizations do have a template or report. So you can, a template or an outline of what the report will look like. If you have been tasked to write a workshop report, be in charge of the person to write, you should ask like, okay, please, have you used any report before? Do you have any outline? So you don't go and submit and it's just off key of what is expected of you. It's very, very important. Ask for an outline, ask for it. If not a template, ask for an outline. Of course, a template is like an outline. So, but please ask for an outline. Even in evaluation where they've not told you, like the commissioner didn't tell you how the outline of your final report should look like. Normally at kickoff meetings, which is the inception meeting, we always ask if they have a preferred outline that they can suggest. So it's very important that you ask. I'm going to show us a typical evaluation outline and a typical workshop report outline in a bit. But I think, let me just stop. Let me go over this slide deck and I'll come back to that because some of them have all things that I have in the slides. So it's important that you know the objectives. This is very relevant to workshop reports. Know the objectives of the workshop. Workshops might be in different sessions. So like you have the morning session, afternoon session, or you have session 1, session 2, like they're different facilitators. Know the objectives of each facilitator. Know the objectives for each facilitation or for each part of the workshop. Or you can even know the overall objective of the workshop. So it's very, very important to state these objectives. And as it concerns
Hello.
Okay. So internet took us away again. Apologies again. So I have an outline. That's very, very important. Yeah, thanks, Joshua, for that. So please have an outline. It's very, very key. And I'm saying that from the day you knew you were going to write a report, start putting together your outline. In fact, this is the reason why you ask your commissioner or the person that puts you in charge of writing reports to give you an outline. So please have an outline. It's very, very important. Then you can think about, so this, I said finish the report before even starting. Yes, you can, once you get an outline, you can start developing each part of the outline, even before the end of the report. For example, you have introduction. Introduction are you have introduction, you have objectives. These are not things that you need to get after the workshop has ended. No, they are things you know before the workshop gets started. They are things you know before writing the evaluation report. So you should put this together on your reports even before start. And if your workshop is in different sessions, you can also know the name of the facilitator. You can know the objectives for each session. And you can write all that even before the workshop starts, even before you start collecting data for the evaluation. Very, very important. It allows you to quickly finish the report. Like you're just waiting for the happenings. You will just be waiting for the happenings during the workshop or the happenings during the implementation phase of the evaluation. Very, very important that you're able to write things before your event starts or before even implementing the evaluation. Something to think about. Yes, please use images. They are very important. Images, charts, infographics. They convey information easily than your written texts. Very, very important. Look for images at workshops. Take pictures with your mobile phones, good pictures, capturing action moments, not just capturing one person's face. That doesn't help a report, but capturing pictures that are capturing moments are very good. And you have people, cross-section of people. Those are good images you can use in your reports. Of course, maybe you might not use that in evaluation. Maybe what you need in an evaluation report will be charts, graphs. Please don't overburden your report with charts and graphs and images. Very, very important. Then when you're done, when the workshop is done, when you have finished implementing the evaluation, you've gone to the field, you've collected data, get your draft and share with your colleagues so they can give feedback. They can help you dot your I's and cross your T's. You can even discuss with the person that told you to write the workshop report, like, please take a look at and give me feedback on this. So it's very important that you share the draft. You can also share it with your colleagues in the office, your friends, to take a look at it, just to check if everything is in line, if it will meet up with the expectation of the person that are giving you that responsibility. Is very important so that you don't submit a final report with all the energy you put into it and they tell you, come on, this was not what we were looking for. That's very important. Then you submit your report on time before deadline. All this that I've stated allows you to quickly be able to submit your reports on time, especially with this outline. Very, very important.
Doctor, we share your slide. We share your slide. Put up your slide so that they can see. Most of them can see your slides. Reshare, yeah.
Oops. Can you see it now? don't
No,
think
it
so.
doesn't. It doesn't come
No.
up.
No, you can't.
Okay. That takes me back like some minutes. Can you see it now?
Yeah, that is back up.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe somewhere from here. Yeah, I was saying that yes, in summary, I'm just going to summarize. Yes, ask for a template is very, very important, or outline. Whether it's a commissioner requesting for a proposal, you can ask for the final report template or outline during the inception meeting. Know the objectives. Of course, if it's for a workshop report, know the objectives of the report. If it's an evaluation report, you need to know the evaluation questions. Of course, there's no request for proposal for an evaluation that will not have the evaluation questions, except if it's a developmental evaluation. That is when you might not see the evaluation questions or evaluation objectives, because you will be the one to develop the evaluation questions. Then have an outline. This is super important. You should draft your outline even before commencing the workshop, if it's a workshop, before data collection, if it's an evaluation. Write out that outline. It allows you to quickly then start writing things. There are things you would already know before implementation. So write all those things out. It gives you that bandwidth to quickly finish the report. And I said, add images. In workshops, make sure you get good images, action images, not images that are just so showing one person's face, or that is just showing one person on a desk. No, capture a cross-section of people looking at something, doing things, putting things together, answering questions, making gestures. Those are the kind of images you want to show, not just showing one person standing, or also some people use group pictures, especially if you're going to use it for the cover. So I said share the draft with colleagues, with friends, with the person that have given you that role. It's very important before you submit the final one. All this allows you to submit your report super on time. I'm going to stop sharing now, and I would quickly show us some outline. First, I'd show us an outline of an evaluation report, and I'm not going to go into, I will just take a recent request for proposal. Not all requests for proposal would share with you the outline of how their final report should look like. But in this case, it was written like, this is how we want the final report of the evaluation to look like. So let me see if I can just share it in a bit.
So the slide is up. Stop sharing this one.
Okay, I know what is happening. So let me just close the slideshow. And okay. So okay. I think I've gotten what I wanted to share with us. So let me see if it's actually sharing. Okay, so this is a midterm review, or what we call a midterm evaluation request for proposal. And in it, you can see that an annex. So in the annex, they said the following format is being proposed for completing the final report. So like I said, not all requests for proposals would mention that. So cover page, evaluation title, all these ones, date, evaluation, table of contents, of course, glossary, list of abbreviations. Yes, executive summary. This is super important for any evaluation report. If executive summary is the first thing you would want to see in an evaluation report. It's very, very important, and it's just a summary of the objective of the evaluation, when the evaluation was carried out, the evaluation questions, the findings, and the recommendations. That is what you will find in the executive summary. Some will tell you it should not be more than 2 pages. Then you have the introduction, which gives you a background, the objectives of the evaluation, whether it's a commissioner requesting for a proposal, you can ask for the final report template or outline during the inception meeting, know the objectives. Of course, if it's for a workshop report, know the objectives of the report. If it's an evaluation report, you need to know the evaluation questions. Of course, there's no request for proposal for an evaluation that will not have the evaluation questions, except if it's a developmental evaluation. That is when you might not see the evaluation questions or evaluation objectives, because you will be the one to develop the evaluation questions. Then have an outline. This is super important. You should draft your outline even before commencing the workshop, if it's a workshop, before data collection, if it's an evaluation. Write out that outline. It allows you to quickly then start writing things. There are things you would already know before implementation. So write all those things out. It gives you that bandwidth to quickly finish the report. And I said, add images. In workshops, make sure you get good images, action images, not images that are just so showing one person's face, or that is just showing one person on a desk. No, capture a cross-section of people looking at something, doing things, putting things together, answering questions, making gestures. Those are the kind of images you want to show, not just showing one person standing, or also some people use group pictures, especially if you're going to use it for the cover. So I said share the draft with colleagues, with friends, with the person that have given you that role. It's very important before you submit the final one. All this allows you to submit your report super on time. I'm going to stop sharing now, and I would quickly show us some outline. First, I'd show us an outline of an evaluation report, and I'm not going to go into, I will just take a recent request for proposal. Not all requests for proposal would share with you the outline of how their final report should look like. But in this case, it was written like, this is how we want the final report of the evaluation to look like. So let me see if I can just share it in a bit. Request for proposal. And in it, you can see that an annex. So in the annex, they said the following format is being proposed for completing the final report. So like I said, not all requests for proposals would mention that. So cover page, evaluation title, all these ones, date, evaluation, table of contents, of course, glossary, list of abbreviations. Yes, executive summary. This is super important for any evaluation report. If executive summary is the first thing you would want to see in an evaluation report. It's very, very important, and it's just a summary of the objective of the evaluation, when the evaluation was carried out, the evaluation questions, the findings, and the recommendations. That is what you'll find in the executive summary. Some will tell you it should not be more than 2 pages. Then you have the introduction, which gives you a background, the objectives of the evaluation questions, methodology, what method did you use? So in terms of data collection method, was it qualitative? Was it quantitative? What type of qualitative? Is it interviews? Is it focus group discussions? Is it focus? Is it discussion? Is it panel workshops? Is it so if it's quantitative? Is it a survey? How many people did you administer it to? Who responded and all that? So in terms of methodology, then limitations to the approach that you have used. What are the limitations? Were you not able to reach a whole lot of people? Were there security challenges? And then findings and analysis. So you present your findings based on the evaluation question. So for each of the evaluation questions, what did you find out? If the evaluation question is saying, oh, to what extent did the participants, to what extent were the participants confident or comfortable or satisfied with the intervention, then you need to give us that finding on that extent at which they were satisfied as the findings. So if you have 5 evaluation questions, your findings must be based on the 5 evaluation questions. Then conclusion. So what are you concluding based on the evaluation question? Then you have 10 recommendations. Recommendations are very important in evaluation because that is the main reason why you are even conducting an evaluation. You want things to change, you want people to change, you want a system to change. You need to put them in recommendations, and recommendations could be towards each stakeholder. So not just one person. If you're talking about, if you're recommending for government has different agencies. You need to recommend per agency. If it's a group of stakeholders that have implemented that program or project, then your recommendations should be directed at each group or category of stakeholders that implemented the project. Of course, the last part of it is appendix. So many things are included in the appendix, especially as the commissioner finds it fit for you. So this is actually a typical outline of an evaluation report. Not much evaluation reports doesn't take this format. Most evaluation reports takes this format. And that's an outline of an evaluation report. Like I said, once you get this kind of outline, let me look at this. Of course, I can start putting together all this cover page, title, dates, evaluation, name, abbreviations, table of contents, introduction, the background, the objectives. In fact, the method, because I've already proposed a method. Maybe not the challenge, I can leave that. Findings, maybe not. Conclusions, maybe not. Recommendations, maybe not. And I mean, you have all appendixes because you have some already. Like some people will tell you, put the RFP in it, put the inception report. So all that you can still get that. list of documents that were provided to you, you can still get all that. So, you know, by the time you're done with data collection, it then means you are left with, oh, okay, I'm left with, okay, the limitations, presentations, conclusions, recommendations. So before you know it, maybe you have 5 days to complete a draft before you share for feedback. Then that you can use that to cover those days. But I mean, maybe 5 days is not enough, because you also need to think about analysis, which might take a longer time period than before putting together the analysis together and submitting it as a report. I'll stop sharing for that and then show us a typical outline for a workshop report. So let's look at this. It's a template for a workshop report. So you can see it's an annual meeting, annual workshop. You have the overview, objectives, activities, summary of takeaways. So like a summary of all the takeaways for the days. So this is a 4-day workshop. You can see that the report is written per day. So like for each day. So like I said, some of you might be tasked to write report for a workshop, a 1-day workshop, a 2-day workshop, a 3-day workshop, a 4-day workshop. You can make use of this kind of templates. And I'm going to just share the link with everyone in a bit. So, let me see if I can do that. So anyone with the link can actually view. I'm putting it in the chat box so you can. So that's it. So for day 1, you have, yes, what is the title of session 1? What is the objective of the workshop? What is the overview? Workshop overview. What is supposed to be done, right? What are the key discussion points? This is very important. I've read so many reports that just go in one line. Oh, Mr. A said A, B, C, D, E, F, G, pam, and it stops there. No, that's not the way to write a report. This kind of report is written for somebody who is not there. You want to bring the person to then be part of the happenings in the workshop. So it doesn't have to be a one-liner like, oh, Mr. A, who was the facilitator, said A, B, C, D, and D, A, B, C, and you stop there. That shouldn't be it. You should bring up ideas. What are, especially, it depends on the way the workshop was designed. This outline that I'm showing to you is a workshop in which, yes, there's a facilitator, people ask questions, brainstorming, people come up with ideas. So you want to present those things as in summary, like what did A said, what did this person say, what did this other person say. So then what are the action points? That is next steps. Action points. What are the action points that came out of that discussion, right? Which might be, oh, this stakeholder A is supposed to do X, Y, Z at this particular time. So that's why you have activity, responsibility, and timeline. Those are next steps. And they're very important when you put them in workshops. Then you can put in some of the resources that were used. Maybe the facilitator presented a slide You need to take that slide, ask for it, and put it. Then take a picture of what happened. Just one picture, please. One picture for that session and an action picture, not putting in like 10 pictures inside one session. So this is very important. I mean, this is just one outline of writing a workshop session. It is the same thing all through, but just focusing on what each session is per day. So with this, you get a report for the 4 sessions. And you know what? The best thing to do if you are the one that has been tasked with report writing, I learned something from some of my colleagues that were heavy report writers. If you're the report writer for a workshop, you should embed yourself in the workshop. It's better you are not doing any other thing. All what you're doing as conversations are emanating, you should be putting those things together. So like day 1, session 1, you are in session 1 and you are typing in, like I said, you would have put in the workshop overview and workshop objective because it will be in the agenda. So then what are the key discussion points? That is the only thing you just want to write about. So just put it together, put in those ideas, the challenges, then what are the next steps that were agreed? Then put in a picture. You can just quickly take a picture of your own during the workshop and put it. Before you know it, by day 4, you already have your reports ready. It's not like you wait after the workshop, and you're just starting to write from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. It's going to be very overwhelming. Let me state one thing. This outline was written based on the agenda. So the agenda for this workshop follows day 1, like what is supposed to happen. The objective, the overview was already there. The session title was already on the agenda. So you already have the agenda. So reports for workshop normally, and I want to say that, should follow the agenda, especially if it's an agenda-driven workshop. Of course, how many people does workshops without agenda? Of course, there are some workshops that are agenda-less, but I know that most workshops do have their own agenda. So once you get the agenda, create your outline based on each agenda and focus on having all this per session that is within the day, the workshop, either per day, if it's 1 day, if it's 2 days, if it's 3 days, if it's 4 days. What else did I want to? Yeah, I mean, I can show us something. So I mean, this is you can see this is one example of a session, and it was built up upon like the workshop objective. Of course, this might be me presenting. So you have an overview of what was presented, then you have the key discussions, then you have next steps. So this is all that you can see, not more than 2 pages. You can see the picture that is there, like somebody presenting. Very, very important for us to take note of. Okay, I think on this note, I'm going to shut my mouth and see if we have any questions at all.